Hello. In this video we're going to be going over the startup paperwork for your freshwater salt system. Now upon delivery, the technician or the foreman should hand you a piece of paper that looks similar to this, and he will fill it out depending on your water chemistry and how many gallons are in your spa. So the first thing, we're going to talk about draining and refilling your spa. So with the freshwater system, as long as you're maintaining your water chemistry, you can drain and refill your spa about once a year. The drains are going to be located on the front of the spa. Towards the bottom, there should be 1 or 2 drain caps down there. You can take the drain caps off and attach a hose to them and have it drain wherever you'd like. Or an alternative option would be buying a submersible pump and just throwing it in there and having it drain real quick. Now while the spa is drained, you want to wipe down the shell really good. Great product to use is a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser or something of the lines like that to get rid of any hard stains or scuff marks. Okay, so when filling, if you are on well water, you're going to want to purchase a clean screen pre-filter that we sell in store. You want to attach that to your hose to help filter out any solids in the water. Once it's full, you're going to also want to add freshwater stain and scale. Let that acclimate into your water for about 15 minutes to also help filter out any additional dissolved solids. Okay, so the third line here is talking about alkalinity. So depending on what your water chemistry is the day of delivery, they will leave you products and tell you how much of that product to add to get you back into range. Now the ideal range we're looking for is actually on this piece of paper. Right where it says alkalinity. Alkalinity, you're going to want to keep that between 40 and 120 parts per million. Next line down is also talking about pH. Same thing goes, it's all going to be dependent on your water chemistry, but you're going to want your pH to be between 7.2 and 7.8. All right, the next line down here is to add 1 tablet of nanophos. So this is going to be dependent whether or not your water supply has phosphates in it or not. If your water does not have phosphates in it, then you don't have to worry about it. Your chemical kit that you will receive the day of delivery will have phosphate testers, so you can test it yourself, or you can bring in a water sample to our store and we'll test it for you for free and then let you know how much products to add to get your water balanced and if you have phosphates or not. If you do have phosphates, you just throw it into your filter compartment and just let it sit there for a couple days, and then after 48 hours you want to pull your filters out and spray them off real well just to get whatever it filtered out. Next is adding salt. You'll want your salt to be between 1,500 and 2,000 parts per million. What's going to happen on the first day you refill, you're going to want to add about half of the salt required that will say on the back of your bag of salt that you will get. You want to add half of that first for the first day, and then the second day you want to add about a cup of salt every 30 minutes. Until your green light is solid, you want to add a cup of salt until that's solid. On the Limelights, it'll look like this. On the Highlights, it'll just have this logo here. It'll just be the top portion. Okay, so once your salt is in range, the next thing we're going to talk about is calcium. Now, we want calcium to be between 25 and 75 parts per million. If your calcium was very high, you will need to add is a bag of Vanishing Act. It essentially looks like a big white bag and it acts like a sponge absorbing all the calcium out of your water. You want to throw it in the bottom of the spa towards the footwell. You want to flip it for in 12 hours, and in 24 hours you want to remove it. Calcium and phosphates are 2 big things you want to make sure are in range or not in there at all. Those are the 2 things that will make you go through a lot of salt cartridges. So it's really important to get phosphates and calcium addressed right away. All right, next I'll show you how to install your silver ion stick. Now, the silver ion stick will come in a box that looks like this. Inside that box, there'll be 2 pieces like this. This is the handle. You want to put the handle right on top, just like that. And this gets installed into your filter compartment. Now on your spa, you'll have 1 gray cap over top of your filter. This one only has 1 white and 1 gray, but you want to look for that gray cap. This gray cap, if you take it off here, this gray cap should be the only pipe that the filter sits over top of that is hollow. And that's where this gets installed, so it goes right in that hollow pipe there, just like that, and put the lid right back on. Now your silver ion stick, you'll need to replace that in 4 months. So either mark that in a calendar or set a reminder. If you were on well water and you had to add any of that stain and scale or the pre-filter, and your calcium and phosphates were really high, you might want to wait at least 24 hours before doing this next part. But I'm going to be showing you how to install your salt cartridge. Now for Limelight spas, to get to your freshwater menu, you're going to hit Options, Salt System, and it'll take you to this menu here. To replace your cartridge, it's going to say right here in the bottom right corner, and you're just going to follow the directions. It's going to say press and hold to replace cartridge, and it's going to say turning off the pumps. The salt cartridge will go into this area here. It should be a round gray cap. Once it tells you to remove the cartridge now, that's when you want to take this cap off by giving a quarter of a turn, pulling off. The cell has a little button on top. Just push the button and out comes the cell, just like that. So once you take the old cell out, you can do the same thing by pushing down. There's little metal plates along the walls here. You just want to line these mouse ears on the side of the cell right here to those metal plates. Push the button, set it in there. After you do that, you want to come back to your control head and it'll say press system restart. And that's when you hit this, and then your spa will go up and running again. So for Limelight spas, once your water is balanced and you have no phosphates and your calcium is in range, what you want to do after you install your salt cartridge is set your output level on your freshwater menu. So on your Limelight spa, what you want to do is you want to hit Options, Salt System, and it'll be at this top right corner here where it says level. It goes from 0 to 10, 0 meaning no chlorine production, 10 meaning the maximum amount of production your cell will produce. What you want to do initially is you want to poke this button here till it scrolls up to 7. That's where you're going to start off initially. Now when you test your water weekly, what you want to pay attention to is the free chlorine indicator on your test strips. And depending on where that's at, that's where you're going to know whether to raise this or lower it. If it's reading low chlorine, you want to bump this up to an 8 or a 9. And if it's high chlorine, you want to bump it down to a 6 or a 5. All right, the next section we're going to be going over is your weekly maintenance on your spa. So what you're going to want to do is you want to test your water once a week. Either bring in a water sample to our store where we test it for free, or test strips or another form of test kit that you may have. But you want to make sure that your pH and alkalinity are in range. If you're using test strips, that's usually bracketed off so you can actually just look and see if you're in that window there. And also you want to make sure your chlorine is between 1 and 3 parts per million. That way your water is clean and safe to use. Also, you want to add non-chlorine oxidizer once a week. The foreman or tech will write how much you should add depending on your gallonage. What that will do is it'll help your water clarity, and it'll help your chlorine cell also with the chlorine production. Also, if you are having a heavy use period, so a lot of people in the spa, or if your water looks a little cloudy, what you want to do is you want to add some granular chlorine, about 1 to 2 ounces, depending on gallonage once again. And lastly, as far as weekly maintenance goes, you want to confirm your salt output level. So like we were discussing before, where it's set to 7. For example, if your level is on 7, what you want to do once a week is just go into that menu and just scroll up till it goes to 10, resets to 0, and then go back to whatever level you had it set before. So in this instance, 7. Now what that does is it tells your spa that you're still using it and that you checked the water and to continue producing chlorine. Next is routine maintenance. The first two dots on your paperwork will say when your cartridges will expire. So 4 months with the silver ion stick in your filter compartment. And then for the salt cartridge, you want to wait till your spa actually communicates to you that that cell needs replaced. Also, once a month, you want to remove your filters from your filter compartment, and you want to hose them off real well till all the debris and dirt comes off. Also, every other month, or you can do it monthly as well, we will give you a product called Instant Filter Cleaner. It will come with a spray bottle attachment. Once every other month, you want to take those out and spray them with that product and let them sit for 5 minutes and hose off your filters until the suds are out of your filter, and then just go ahead and throw them back in. That just gets a deeper clean to your filter. Also, you want to test for phosphates at least every 2 weeks. Once again, phosphates are a big issue with your freshwater cartridge and could limit the life of that cartridge. So you want to make sure that you have no phosphates. And once again, you will get a test kit in the box of chemicals upon delivery. Next, just make sure that you maintain a good water level. You just want to make sure all your jets are submerged underwater. We generally like to aim for the section between the bottom of your pillow and the top of your jet. Also, once a month, you want to wash and condition your vinyl spa cover. So that's going to be everything you see when the spa cover is closed. So not this light gray area that you see right now, but condition the side of the flaps and the top of it with a cover shield or Meguiar's 57, just nothing alcohol base. That will dry up the cover. That will help your spa cover feel new and fresh. It'll also prevent it from cracking, and it also has UV protection from the sun. So to prevent foaming issues, we recommend, one, not washing your bathing suits very often. Leftover laundry detergent in your swimsuits can get into the spa water and then turn into a big bubble bath. Also, it's good to rinse off before you use the spa, just to get off anything that could potentially cause your spa to foam as well, and keeps your spa a little bit cleaner as well. And lastly, if you can, just try to bring in a water sample to any of our stores where we can test it for free, just so you can get reassurance that you are maintaining your spa correctly, and that way we can answer any questions you may have also.